Well, I'm an artist who's been exhibiting my paintings at Connected Co-working this past year. In fact, I have a coffee cup to prove it. I had the honor of receiving this at the anniversary party recently.
But no one else spoke about it. I did.
Elaine did. We have a picture to prove it. I've also done an all-day pastel art workshop that was in November here at Connected. And it's been a pleasure to be a part of it. So thank you very much. My medium is pastel. Some people call it chalk, but it's not. It is a dry medium with nothing to compromise it. It's pure pigment, and that's why the colors are so brilliant. I love color, drawing, and painting, so it fits me like a glove. And my work that has been on display for the last couple of months, I brought it up to the tables up here. It's nature themed, and there's 3 here, and then there's 1 back there. And I'm looking forward to the next exhibit with the theme of motion, movement. I've been asked to speak about my life as an artist. Thank you, Elaine. So I'd like to start at the beginning. I remember my mother telling me that she knew I was obsessed with drawing and art because when I was 3, she had to follow me around with a Windex bottle. I got in trouble. I love to create murals with my crayons on the wall. She problem solved eventually by giving me a little art studio in my bedroom. Bait and switch, it worked. I continued with my focus on art as a child. In elementary school, I remember getting in trouble and missing recess because I loved drawings and cartoons, and I loved passing them around to my friends in class. One day, Mr. Stone, my 5th grade teacher, couldn't help but notice the snickers and the laughs in class. He interrupted my note passing and saw that I had drawn a caricature of him. But he was easy. He wore big bow ties, and he had this big, toothy smile. I missed some recesses because of that. You'd think I would have learned a lesson by that. I didn't. I continued to draw. But I'll have to admit, I was a little more cautious about sharing Mr. Stone and Mr. Stone's class after that. As an adult artist, I have had some wild and crazy adventures with art shows and outdoor festivals. Imagine Steve Martin. No, wild and crazy. Okay. One early one that really stood out was my art event at the Black Swan Inn in San Antonio. You guys have ever heard of the Black Swan Inn?
Yep.
The Black Swan was famous for being haunted. At least that is what the tour guides said. As an artist, I was told that I could set up my tent on the other side of the burning leaves in the field across from the haunted inn. When Smoke Gets in Your Eyes was my theme song that day. Between coughing and yelling to my customers over the loud band of young musicians right next to my booth, I went almost hoarse within minutes. That show and event has gone down as a disaster. Haunted? I'm haunted by the bad memories of no sales. It was that kind of day. As an artist who does outdoor art shows, I always worry about the weather. I have to pay a fee to have a booth and a space. If the weather doesn't cooperate, I'm only out of my fee, but I've lost the opportunity to do the business of showing and selling my artwork. Some shows that stand out due to bad weather come to mind. I traveled to the Texas coast and did the Rockport Art Festival in the past. You guys ever heard of the Rockport Art Festival? It's kind of a big deal. People come from all over the country to that. It's in July, and of course, it's one of our warmer months in Texas. I brought fans to help cool things off. But the Texas heat was not my biggest problem that weekend. It rained so hard. How hard did it rain? When we were trying to set up or install the artwork, the water came up to my calves. Literally. Glug, glug. The wind and the rain blew across the Gulf and landed right on the big tents of the festival. I felt frantic about losing my paintings. It was going to be a remake of The Wizard of Oz. I was Dorothy, and I wasn't in Kansas anymore. Then there was comfort, or Christmas in comfort. 2 years ago, the wind was clocked at gusts that were about 50 miles an hour. My husband, Paul, was holding on to the main frame of the tent. I was holding the front of the tent down. I looked back over my shoulder, and I could see Paul's feet lifting off the ground. The wind was so rough that it blew off my lipstick. No, not really, but I thought we were toast. What saved us that day? A good Samaritan walking by. He was a stocky, athletic, good guy. He grabbed the tent. He held it down while I frantically grabbed my artwork off the walls of my display and threw them in my containers. Whew. It was that kind of day. I just did the Starving Artist art show the first week in April. That takes place in La Vida, downtown San Antonio. While daydreaming before the show started, I recalled a past disaster in Maverick Plaza. Paul and I had finished up our Saturday there, and then we went home to rest up for the Sunday event. That night, I didn't get much sleep. The wind howled. It rained like it was the monsoon season, visiting from the other side of the world. When we showed up the next day, the tent had already collapsed. It was completely DOA. Good thing I had taken my art down at the end of Saturday, boxed it up, and covered it with secure materials. Paul and I took the tent and threw it into the local dumpster. He then went home and got our Plan B, a second tent we had in storage. Yikes. We finished up after a second setup and eventually had a successful Sunday show. The life of an artist can be compared to a roller coaster ride or a night playing the slots in Vegas. As Betty Davis once said, "Buckle up, it's going to be a bumpy ride." Of course, not all my shows travel down the road to disaster and mayhem. I've been fortunate to have successes as well. I meet lots of wonderful people from all over the world. The last outdoor show helped me to visit with people from Sweden, Poland, the Netherlands, England, Chile, and stateside, Washington, Colorado, Pennsylvania, Florida. My exhibits also allow me to network with other talented artists and instructors, provide opportunities to follow up with the business of selling my art, acquire commissions for clients' paintings, and to work on improving my displays so that they are attractive and visually compelling. When I have an art connection, I usually photograph my buyer with the artwork, and then I send them the photo and a thank you note to show my appreciation. It's my way of giving back and showing gratitude. I also love it when my art collectors send me photos of my artwork displayed in their homes or offices. It's a full circle moment. My art found a forever home, and that is satisfying. In fact, I've got more art shows coming up this weekend, and the weekend after that. My April is pretty busy. This Saturday, I want to invite you to Fiesta Castle Hills. If you take 410 and exit at Castle Hills, it's right there. It's like a mini version of the King William Fair. It has a fun parade and lots of booths, food trucks. It's really fun. You don't have to worry about parking or any kind of nonsense. There's no admission fee. Kids petting zoo. If you want to take your grandkids to something like a Fiesta event, it's really wonderful. So I'd recommend that. And then at the end of the month, I've done King William Fair for several years. It's one of my better shows. It's downtown Madison. I'll be on the first 100 block of Beauregard Street, and it's a lot of fun. It's one of the traditions of San Antonio. Well, again, I want to thank you for joining me. You guys have any questions about the old art world? I'm a retired teacher, and I've taken this on as a second journey in my career, and it's been a lot of fun. But just like anything else, it's an adventure. So, thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for the lovely card.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
What's your favorite? Just like what you have here, or where those?
I'm a birder. If you're asking me, and I'm being honest, I've always loved birds, and I'm a partner with Mitchell Lake Audubon Center. They featured my birds in their gift shop for years, and so yeah, I really like birds, but I like nature, and I'm trying to give it a voice. And my mission is to make people aware of the things that are beautiful on our planet that happen to live outdoors, and that includes landscapes too. Yeah.
What do you think with our upcoming event, who we could plug in or tie? What would be your recommendation to promote this event coming up? Or suggestions you might thought you might have?
For
No, for the connection.
For connected to new exhibit.
Oh, for
Yeah.
the movement and motion.
Yeah.
And how to promote it.
Yeah.
Well,
Lawyer.
right. Well, I always do social media. So when Joel asked about social, I mean, yeah, I'm like the queen of Facebook. People get sick of me being on Facebook. Facebook, and I do Insta. I do constant contact. I have an email campaign. I text people. I'm going to have book club meeting. I'm in charge of that this week. I'll be distributing little postcards with my stuff. And I brought my book club here for one of the exhibits, and they just loved it. And they, word of mouth, they told their friends, and more people have come here because of that. I never underestimate the power of the word of mouth. Yeah, it really is. And if you want credibility, you do need to meet people in person. It helps. I totally love technology, and I think of it as a tool in the toolbox, but there's real power in looking at somebody in the eyes and or shaking their hand or giving them a hug or embracing their humanity and being respectful and showing dignity. Yeah. So that's but yeah, social media for sure. Yeah. And when I get emails from Elaine about things, I pay attention. I put it on my calendar. So all of that stuff is helpful. Yeah. Or you could rent a billboard. That's or one of those those wavy things that wow.
Is there's other groups that might want to target?
I
participate.
Right. I have told my Texas. I'm the past president of the Texas Pastel Society, and it's San Antonio based. But I have communicated with them over and over about this place, and some of them have chosen to exhibit here, and that's why you have pastel artists. Pastel is not a real.
It's not one of the popular.
It's not one of the popular ones. In some galleries, they won't even take you. And if it has glass on it, they forget it. But yeah, I have had them come here. My book club, San Antonio Art League. I know Elaine works with them. All the different. I'm a art curator at a coffee shop in my neighborhood. So I've told everybody there, and there's a lot of people that come in and out of there. In fact, Sherry and Elaine are there now. They'll be taking their artwork out in early May 1st.
But it's got picked up so well over the last year. That's I have to even get a very famous person to come here and help. My Sherry Rick. I tell you,
Yeah.
I get you.
It could happen.
Yeah. So that was amazing. Thank you.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
You did a good job.
The whole thing about art is it's a passion with me, and if I have a pension, it's not like I'm gonna be on the streets with a shopping cart if I don't sell some art. But I'm also motivated too. You're right.
Oh, that was a fabulous book. Would you mind if I gave you one critique?
Not
You can say yes, you do mind.
There was a couple of words within the English language I'm going to get you to pronounce properly. I'll go through the paperwork.
okay. Okay.
Let's get up.
The pronunciation needs something to be desired. But then again, we're in Texas.
I hear you, Mister. Well, I'm not going to throw this coffee cup because I really like it. All right.
No, that was fabulous, man.
You're sweet. Thank you. Brent. All right.